All right, cool, cool, cool. We are on to the second Platinum Red. We're on to the Milbrandt, the Estates Merlot. This is their 2017 vintage. It's from the Wallach Slope AVA overall, which is in the overall larger Columbia Valley AVA. For those of you that don't know, really the vast majority of Washington's wine growing regions are the eastern side of the state. The only one on the western side is the Puget Sound AVA, which doesn't produce all that much wine. So all those famous appellations, Red Mountain, Horse Heaven Hills, Royal Slopes, stuff like that, are all on that eastern side of the state, where it is considerably drier because of the rain shadow that happens over that mountain range that divides the two state, or divides the state in half essentially. So Milbrandt, really well recognized producer out there, pretty regular appear on the Wine Spectator Top 100, stuff like that. So just a well-respected producer out there. Merlot, I'm sure y'all have heard me talk about Washington Merlot quite a bit. It's one of my favorite New World representations of Merlot. It tends to be kind of like halfway in between Napa Valley and Bordeaux. Has some of those more savory aspects, has some of the more ripe ones. I expect this one to be a little bit more ripe. This is my first time tasting it, but we will see. So this guy, Merlot, cut with a little bit of Cabernet Sauvignon and Petit Verdot, I believe. Maybe it's Malbec instead of Petit Verdot. I'd have to look at the tech sheet again. Aged 26 months in a combination of French and American oak. We get to the look, and yeah, it's definitely ruby, maybe taking on like somewhat of a garnet hue overall, and maybe that's because of the oak. A little bit of rim variation overall, but you can see through the glass pretty well. Yeah, so you get to the nose, and there's definitely some herbaceousness overall, kind of a cedar box mesquite thing going on. But you also get kind of reduced cherry, a little bit of blueberry in there, right? And even a little bit of like black fruits in there as well. So there's this core of fruit that's surrounded by this overall savory cedar box element with this guy. And you get a little bit of vanilla from the oak as well. Admittedly, going into this, when I saw the oak time, I was not worried, but I was expecting this to be a lot riper than it is. And it's actually a super well structured wine. The tannins are super supple for a 2017 vintage. They're really ready to go now. Nice acidity balancing the whole thing through. You get these lovely dark red fruit and blue fruit notes in there. Again, kind of the cedar box thing going on. Definitely get a little bit of vanilla and sweet baking spice from the oak. But overall, this is a pretty textbook representation of Washington Merlot. This is all the notes that you look for. It has some of the ripe aspects of Napa Valley, but it also has some of the more savory aspects of a Bordeaux-based Merlot. So this could be a steak wine, it could be a lamb wine, really just a rich red meat wine would be what I would go for.